multiple summons to withdraw from the Mechanicus facility on Avarax, and we do not know why. Captain Akran has tasked me to aid in your retrieval of the Magos biologist before the Tyranids completely engulf the mining base, causing unnecessary loss of data.
Orders confirmed, Magos. Atmospheric conditions are suboptimal to mission deployment and evacuation. This is as close as I can get you to the Longinus Gamma facility.
Alright. What's up? So this is the Trygon update. I wanted to do this with a full team of players, but for some reason matchmaking is kind of wonky at the moment. It's not finding anyone for me. And even when it does, it'll find one person, but it won't actually get us put together in the same lobby. So I am now in a private lobby with just some bots, but the difficulty, I just set it to average. I just wanted to actually play this mission and see what it's like, see what the new boss is like, the Trygon. I'm not going to cut out anything in this mission. That way you guys can see what the full length of this mission looks like. So let's just get to it. We got to exfiltrate Archmagos Galileo, I believe, if I read it right. So it looks like this is it's tied into the story element of Space Marine 2. So let's see what we got. As you can see, I'm using my Vanguard. Ooh. Okay, so there's the Trygon.
Take heed, Viridian. Trygon target acquisition vectors are unknown. Best to keep moving and stay together. Projecting a sense of tactical dominance may deter it from attacking.
Okay, so it looks like the Trygon is an active boss in this area. This is my first impression, by the way. So it looks like we have to keep moving. We gotta avoid... Yeah, so it looks like we've got to avoid that area. Let's wait and see what happens. I don't think we can fend ourselves off from it, or we can fend it off. So it might be invincible at the moment. I am not too sure. I don't know where we're supposed to go. I think we're supposed to go to the right. So for now, let's just clear these guys out. Now we can use the bot. Okay, so it looks like he'll probably just lunge at you. Okay, so this is a new element to how you can play this mission. Oh, look at that. I gotta go and take those snipers out. Take this guy out too. I wonder if you can perfect parry the Trygon. I don't think you can. So I guess the whole name of this area is just to keep moving. Yeah, so looks like it just lunges out at you from the sand. And then it'll go back into the sand, so yeah, we can't damage it. Looks like we gotta go that way. Not gonna bother looking for secrets or data slates or anything like that. I just want to get through the mission. See what kind of stuff we gonna be encountering throughout. Go this way. So I'm gonna assume we don't have to deal with the Trygon now for a while anyway, maybe. Only one armor boost still, huh? Even on average difficulty. Okay. Strange.
Hawk available.
Okay, I guess we go this way.
Magazine out. Magazine in. Contact imminent.
See, lore-wise, story-wise, where does this take place? Because this should be before we get to Demirium, if we're supposed to escort Archmago Gallia. I don't know. I don't know what the timeline's looking like right now for this mission. All I know is just gotta keep moving. Actually, I want to see. Oh, okay, so it's an unblockable lunge. Okay, so you can't perfect parry him, so yeah, don't even bother trying to counter him if you can. It's unblockable attacks. That's where we gotta go.
A lift station lies just ahead, Meridian. Considering the Trygon's presence is incidental to our objective, utilize the lift to reroute closer to Metrian's keep.
Affirmative. Securing efficient transport now.
Just activate the objective before dealing with the enemies. I was kind of hoping that this update was also going to add a new class, but I'm guessing that's going to be later on in the year.
I've summoned the transport lift, but Eagle's Gallia. Remain patient.
So, okay.
Transport lift inbound.
We gotta survive.
I have transmitted no authorizations.
This is not an ideal round. We must keep moving until the lift arrives.
Transport lift status incomprehensible. Begins, ceases. Begins.
Move until the lift arrives.
Take these guys out before they become too much trouble.
Now to the lift.
Oh, look at that! Sniper killed his own buddy. Can the Trygon kill his own guys, though? That's what I want to know. I hate that we can't cancel the parry. That'd be a nice quality of life feature to have, is if you're in the middle of a parry, you can cancel it. That way you can actually try and block an unblockable. Or not block an unblockable, but dodge an unblockable if you parry. And cancel out of it and, you know, at least save yourself some health. This is a perfect mission so far. I can already tell, perfect for the sniper. Very wide open area map, perfect for sniping.
Swapping out magazine.
Yeah, definitely on higher difficulties, you definitely got to make use of your surroundings, make use of all the containers for cover. Because this does not look like a fun place to deal with on higher difficulties.
Ignoel Metrian welcomes you to Longinus Gamma Bioresearch Facility. Please do not disturb the lift. It would be a waste. I have no music to play while you descend. Use the silence to contemplate your futile, brutal existence in service to a desiccated cause.
I want to take a chainsaw to this servo skull.
Viridian, the servo skull is enslaved to an unknown master.
Yeah, that servo skull basically summarized what
Here
40k is.
in
Whoa,
signal
look at that.
silence. Continue to discuss your fate amongst yourselves. It changes nothing.
Oh,
Block out any distractions. Our orders stand.
A suggestion: abandon Gallio's misguided vendetta against the Magos biologists. Do you know what Gallio and Metrian achieved to protect the past? Ask about Project Zeta 6. Your brothers
Launch that servo skull on a mission complete. Maintain focus on the mission. Is there another we can kill? No?
alright, yeah. You can already tell this place will be a little bit tricky to deal with on higher difficulties with all the snipers. So it's definitely always a good idea to bring at least, I don't know why I'm gonna say at least one sniper. I mean, you can only bring one sniper, but still it'd be nice to, if you do this mission, try and plan it out and see if you can bring a sniper with you. Make it easier to deal with some of these longer range enemies. Anyway, as I was saying, look at, I really like this scenery, this imagery. This is, yeah, like this is like cyberpunk, like the cities that you see in Ghost in the Shell or Blade Runner. You know, towering.
This is the wrong path. We must turn back.
Yeah, it's like a mix with like Coruscant and Ghost in the Shell. Yeah, I love it. It's good. This is some good imagery. It's a good looking map so far, being in a Adeptus Mechanicus facility.
This is Magos. I hereby order you to
Okay, what now? Oh, Trygon? Oh yeah.
I was worried you had fallen victim to Metrian's mastery of malphonic destructive frequencies. Now, the uncomfortable sensation associated with relief cools my remaining skin. Be warned, Viridian. Metrian cannot hope to stand against you alone, so she will lie and store in hope the Xenos swarm will devour you. Case in point, she has enslaved that servo skull as a crude mouthpiece. But give her word zero credibility for the mission's sake. And your own.
Viridian will remain uncompromised, Magos.
Probably gonna be a horde area.
Operation jeopardized. The vile tyrannies are amassing.
Melted charges, huh?
preferred
The
method of
facility is
execution.
well stocked in mining gear. Requisition demonstration charges will relegate the tunnels and halt the infestation.
Dissection. Would you like to hear more?
Kill melter charges and affix them to the Tyranid burrows.
Demolitions tool cache at your disposal.
Dedicated melted charges are using melted bombs. Maybe we are using melted bombs.
Tunnels ablaze with melter charges.
So we pop it in right here. Is that it? Okay, that's it. Alright.
Xenos burn.
Look at that. They're finally making use of the melted bombs. Okay, so the horde is always going to be coming by, or coming in, unless we plug the holes. Is that a hole? It is a hole. Alright, I like that. It's a little bit different than what we usually do. And it's making use of a grenade that we can actually use, and not something specific like the charges from the second mission that we do, where we're fighting the Hive Tyrant. So I like that. I like the slight change up. Yeah, we definitely need some. We definitely need more features like that. Can I pick up another melta bomb? Okay, I cannot. So I lost my grenades and cannot pick up another melta bomb, even though we see plenty there.
I was about to do that.
That is not a secret. Okay, we'll just keep moving. Explore later.
Good to go.
Inside the facility, you'll find Metrian cowering in her data enclave.
Galio, old friend of mine. If you missed our binaric discourses, you could have sent communication. I observe you still pathetically cling to thews of soft tissue. Remember, meat lacks efficiency, whereas metallic alloys stave off corrosion and degradation for far longer.
How far you have fallen, Ignoel, that I must drag you back into the light.
Some interesting dialogue. I don't know why my captures aren't on.
When you die, I will dutifully record your house
Gather at my
for future intimidation.
No turning back now.
What do we have here?
The truth of my faults. I am but a humble brain, patched into a mining facility, and nothing more. What reason exists to pull me from recording biomass coalescence data firsthand? I pose no threat to Galio or the Imperium, even if I should fall.
Disconnect her synaptic tethers from the facility command terminals. Stand firm. I expect her to route Xenos to assault your lovers.
Secure that console uplink.
I just love the amount of gore that's around this map. That's how you tell a good story in Warhammer.
Commencing signal disruption.
Or environmental storytelling, as they say. So this is just capture and hold, basically.
Swapping out magazine. We have terminated this console's uplink.
So it looks like we just go to the other side.
Console. Improvised objective. Locate power cell.
Find a power cell. Okay.
Generator needs a new power cell.
Gotta go and look for a power cell. I don't know where to go.
Galio, bear witness to the summation of our divine arithmetic from long ago. Remember
my theorems predicted, your life vector has converged with renegade factors, and Zeta 6 was a waste of computational resources and one perfectly good Grox. Surrender now, and perhaps leniency can be granted. After the might grows, of course.
You are a redundant functionary. Your
Ooh, gotta drop this.
shall die here, alone, in the dark.
One down. Trillions to go. Fencing skins.
Man, for a moment it wasn't letting me use my stim, so I lost all that contested health.
Pay the high now. Out. Magazine in. Here is a power cell.
Okay, so where do we go?
It's dark. It needs a power cell.
Okay. Just go down this way. Interesting that we're carrying this in our hand and we don't just put it behind us underneath our power pack. Spore mines as usual. Do we hold here?
Futile, impotent waste of genius.
Here's the other thing I don't like about the Vanguard and the operations.
Against the hive mind the
In
Imperium
PvP,
has left.
you can use your grapple hook and actually grapple to the walls and such if you're close by. In PvE, you cannot do that. It's the same with the Assault Marine and their jump packs. Rather than having that vertical leap as usual, like in operations and in PvP, as well as being able to hover while you're there, you can't do any of that with the Assault Marine. So I don't like the takeaways they give to you. They should just give you complete full power to your Marines. The Vanguard and the Marines, or the Vanguard and the Assault Marine, have their power nerfed in operations, as opposed to PvP where everything goes. I don't know why they restricted in PvE. Like, why reduce the mobility of two highly mobile classes when you still have 4 other classes that are just as capable of being grounded? You don't need to ground your agile classes to keep everything balanced, if that was the reasoning for it.
Arming up. Connection permanently severed.
Return to Metrian's containment unit. See, Metrian, the more you thrash, the deeper you set our boats.
These tender thoughts of Astartes' flesh have accomplished nothing, Galio. My machinations are already achieving my designs. You are fools, peasants.
Science, Metrian. Meridian, confirm possession of her quivering mass of computational gray matter.
Assets acquired.
Pilot, Meridian is ready for evacuation.
Sending updated extraction coordinates to you now, Viridian.
Right, where do we go? Oh. that. Very tight-knit corridors is definitely a good idea to bring in a melter weapon.
Finished and ready. One down. Trillions to go.
Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised that this horde is... These are some pretty large hordes considering this is just average difficulty. There's a lot of warriors at the moment. Like, and I mean a lot of warriors.
All these dead tyrannies of Hawkins.
Yeah, definitely gotta remember to bring a melter rifle next time. Perfect for this environment.
Good to go. Smells like fresh munitions. Adversary conditions deteriorating. We will be primed to articulate
Gotta
our
use-
ceramide for weeks.
Deal with the sandstorm again, huh? Frankly, I mean, I get it. It's part of the world. I really don't like the sandstorms. Kind of why I don't like dealing with the that one operation where you got to do the nuke for the train because of the sandstorms. Even though it's easy, you know where to go and all that. It's just I don't always like being forced to have limited visibility. I think just go ahead and switch to the melter rifle.
Do not get turned around. I shall be claiming this.
I wonder if this is the... This should be the Trygon boss battle. Looks like it.
I cannot land with that burrowing abomination landing about.
Deep scans have penetrated the atmospheric disturbances. And Metrium's
Dodged that on the first try.
Trygon vulnerability data pushed to your displays.
All right, we finally got another proper boss battle like like with the Hive Tyrant. We need more boss battles like this, honestly.
On its vulnerabilities.
Okay, that was a neat little combo. If I can do it again, we're good. Okay, so timing that leap. Looks like that tail can hit you twice. Yeah, I'll have to play this again with some players on Ruthless difficulty at least. Truly determine how difficult this boss will be, if it's going to be harder or easier than the Hive Tyrant. Although, honestly, I think it's already easier than the Hive Tyrant because we don't have to deal with the, I don't know what the Hive Tyrant's attacks are, but that triple AoE attack of it, that Psychic Stream Blast, whatever you call it, so far that, not having this guy do it is actually making this fight easier already. If I can get these parries down. That wasn't even fair. This definitely is a much tighter arena though than the Hive Tyrant. So I can see that kind of coming into play, or maybe... No, I think this arena is actually maybe a little bit smaller than the Hive Tyrants.
Eradicate the vermin from the tunnels.
Too many enemies to deal with though on top of the Trygon as opposed to the Tyrant. Just because the Tyrant's already... the Tyrant's already in front of, not in front of you, but it's already, I don't know why I keep saying it's already. The Hive Tyrant's always on the map itself, so you can always damage it. Here, from the looks of it, you're going to be dealing with a lot of hordes. On top of that, the Trygon only comes out every now and then. Oh, that's why we need melta bombs. Okay, so the melta bombs are over here. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna have to work with your team to try and get these holes plugged. Well, I do like that. Alright, trying to plug holes while doing the boss battle, that's actually a neat little way to kind of keep things fresh. Damn, I'm getting shot a lot. Hmm.
Burn the flesh from the Xenos.
Oh, looks like you have to actually plug those holes before you can move on to attacking the boss again. Is that what's going on? Yeah, definitely. Okay. Okay, so that's not a boss, that's not an actual phase. You actually have to plug the holes before moving on to continuing the boss fight. Gotta remember that.
When it dies, we dodge.
way to analyze its attack patterns. So it looks like that's all this is. It's just a lot of dodging. Okay, so looks like we gotta do this again. Looks like plugging the holes is gonna be, you're gonna have to do this twice. Alright.
My congratulations, Meridian. Mission is a success, despite the odds.
Inquiry. What was Project Zeta 6?
Ignoel Metrian and the historical dataset she possesses are for Mechanicus eyes only. But rest assured, she is in trustworthy hands now. You have my gratitude for your efforts, and I shall recommend some honorifics for your service, of course. There is much to pass, much to learn, and much to reminisce about.
I realized that the video I made on when I was talking about the current state of Space Marine 2, I know that a lot of people don't agree with it. And to be perfectly frank, you kind of do need to have like that tough love mentality. We don't want a repeat of Cyberpunk 2077. Remember what CD Projekt Red said back then? They were going to release the game when it was ready. Look what happened to that game. That game was a mess when it came out, especially for those who were still on previous gen hardware. Was it PS3, 360 game just didn't want to run on that hardware, or was it for PlayStation 4? Either way, I can't remember. Ever since then, I've always had to have a more of that tough love, a more strict approach to how developers do their games. You know, don't release a game in a broken state. You know, even though Space Marine 2 was not ever released in a broken state, I mean, Space Marine 2 had a flawless launch, to be frank. Like I said, not just me, but there are articles out there too, like Space Marine 3 already being announced before Space Marine 2 even reached a year old. That was my issue there. Whether the teams are going to stay as is, you know, they're not going to be separating their teams between Space Marine 2 and Space Marine 3. That part is kind of irrelevant. I just want to make sure that Space Marine 2 is still being fully supported. Again, Space Marine 2 is a blank canvas when it comes to the storytelling. Warhammer 40k is such a huge universe that there is infinite number of stories that you can write. There's 1 million worlds within the Imperium that are under the Imperium's control. Okay, that equals 1,000,001 stories that you can create. Yeah, a lot of them are going to be bad stories. I mean, again, that's just how big the universe is. The universe is so massive, it's hard to stay with the power scaling. You know, you're going to get the power scaling wrong. You know, that's going to happen a lot. So yeah, that kind of comes down to just how well the story is, if people understand the power scaling aspect of it. Otherwise, that video was mostly talking about the multiplayer. That's why I opened up with the multiplayer. Multiplayer needs a lot of help. Yeah, the Trygon update did add another weapon, or not another weapon, another map, as well as offering more weapons to use for the multiplayer classes, so now they're not as restrictive, so I'll be looking at that too. But yeah, the multiplayer still needs a lot of help. It can be fun, even though it's boring. Not a whole lot of white noise. There's no background noise to make it feel like you're in a Warhammer game, you know, make it feel like you're in a large-scale war. But besides the point, I'll be doing a follow-up video here soon on the Grey Knights. I know a lot of people have been asking for Grey Knights 2.0. Yeah, just stick around for that one. It's going to take a while just because I have other things I got to do in real life. So until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you on that next one. Peace and goodbye.